Hi, my name is Biben. Today I'm going to be sharing a little bit about Parkinson's disease. The overview. Like we know, the Parkinson's disease is going to be a progressive disorder that is going to be basically affecting the brain. Where it also not only the brain is also going some part of the brain that is going to be affecting is going to be the nerve cell, the basal ganglia, and also the substantia nigra, and also one more thing, also the cerebellum. Some of the what is the cause of this disease? Well, some researchers they think it's because of the exposure of toxins, but they're not sure. What are the main common Parkinson's disease? That's going to be the sporadic and also familial that is going to be passed by the genetics. And this disease over time, when it gets worse, you can get a lot of symptoms that could be for example, shaking, losing their balance, and a lot of things. And also this one is going to be talking about the nerve cells in the basal ganglia. Let me go to the next slide. What is Parkinson's disease? Well, Parkinson's disease is going to be like a brain disorder that is going to be caused that is going to be uncontrollable, that is uncontrollable movements such as shaking, stiffness, difficult balance, and also coordination. Not only that, but this can also affect your digestive system. For example, your swallowing. That is going to be you sometimes Parkinson's people doesn't eat like normal food anymore, where they have to have a specific diet. For example, it could be puree, um, or mechanical stuff, and also special drinks. And what are some parts of the brain that is involved? Okay, Parkinson's disease is going to be like we know it's going to be like a degenerative progressive disorder that affects the nerve cells in the deep parts of the brain that is going to be called the basal ganglia and the substantia nigra. This nerve cell in the substantia nigra they are this one is going to be produce the neurotransmitter of dopamine that are these one are going to be responsible for relaying message the plan and control movements for for like we see in this image right here, we can see some image of the brain that is going to be showing us when a healthy people doesn't have Parkinson's. This is the image that is going to be this showing us where our body or substantia nigra is producing the amount enough of dopamine for our body to function and make all these movements. For example, if someone is sick with Parkinson's, this area right here is the area where our body is going to be this image right here is showing where our body is not producing enough dopamine where over for example, if our body doesn't produce I would say like 80% of the dopamine is when our body starts getting like worse or having a lot of bad symptoms. And like we know, body movements is controlled by a complex chain of decision making involving the inner connective groups of the nerve cells that they can also be called the ganglia. Um, information, like we know, information come from the central area of the brain. Like we will say, like here, the central area of the brain, that is going to be called the striatum. Like here's the image of the striatum right here, and this area is the one that is responsible for getting the information. And when this which if the substantia nigra sends information, the substantia nigra is going to be sending um, impulses back and forth from the spinal cord to the brain. Basically also the basal ganglia and also the cerebellum are responsible for ensuring the movements that is carried out in a smooth fluid manner. If we see this image right here, is going to be the striatum that is located here in the middle of the brain, and here is going to be the dopamine pathway located right here in top of the substantia nigra. In Parkinson's patients, the dopamine neurons in the nigra are like pathways that are generative, like we see in this image. And the image on my left side is going to be showing both like a healthy brain and also a brain that have Parkinson's disease. And we see here the ratio of the iron of a healthy person is going to be 1.1, and the one with this one is going to be a high dopamine level that is going to be something good for the body, and the one below is going to be someone is that is sick with Parkinson's, that is going to be the ratio level of iron is going to be 1.3, and this one is going to be like a low dopamine level that is not going to be good for our body. And we see here he's going to be located also like I mentioned before, the other part of the brain that it can be affected is going to be the cerebellum that is responsible for responsible for movements and the temperature of our body. This can also get affected by this disease. Like we know that some impulses are passed from neuron to neuron, and move quickly from the brain to the spinal cord, and finally to the muscles. When the dopamine receptors in the striatum are not adequately stimulated, parts of the basal ganglia are either under or overstimulated. In particular, the subthalamic nucleus, I would say, becomes overreacted or acts as a break in the globus interna. In the globus interna, that this can cause like a shut like I would say like a shutdown of the body that sometimes or motion or like a shutdown or body where or body is not going to know what to do in some cases. And also the action of dopamine is opposed to another neurotransmitter that is going to be called the acetylcholine. In some where our body is not producing a lot of dopamine or la sustancia negra is not working well, our body can start getting like some symptoms, tremor, stiffness, and other things. Let me go to the next slide. The next slide is going to be the anatomical effect. Well, if we see in this image, we can see a nerve cell or neuron that we can see here. Here are the dendrites that are going to be receiving information, but it's also going to be sending information. And if we see right here, is going to be the synapse of the neuron, and also we see here the little purple dots that are right here, and also right here are the dopamine that the substantia nigra creates or make. And also, like we see here, this one is going to be the receptors, and this one is going to be getting messages that are going to going away to the body to make for messages that are telling the body, oh, make these movements, oh, you touched something, why move your hand, something like that. And when 80% of that, or when the body doesn't make the 80% of the dopamine, is when our body starts to get worse and we start dying slowly. Let me go to the next image. Some causes of this disease. There's some researchers that think that this one is for exposure of toxins, particles, and also by genetic, but they don't they still researching about this. And the biggest factor of all of this is the people that are 60 or older are the ones that are more common to get this disease, and also men are more common to get the disease than women. But this doesn't mean that if you're younger you cannot get it. I have seen some people that are like they're in their 40s and they got Parkinson's disease already, and sometimes this is something new or I don't know what, but sometimes this can happen. Let me go to the next slide. Things that get worse out of Parkinson's disease, things that makes worse of Parkinson's disease. The first thing is going to be having high stress levels, where when you know that you get sick with this disease, you're going to get mad, you're going to get tired, you're going to be asking yourself a lot of questions and looking for the answer. But just try to remember to be calm, and I know it's something hard, but just to be calm and not stress yourself a lot, because this is not good. And also the other thing, it could be also exciting. And the most important thing here is not taking the right medicine. If you're diagnosed with Parkinson's disease and you're not taking the right medicine like carbidopa or levodopa for Parkinson's, this is going to be not good because your symptoms can get worse more quickly, and this can cause, if you're diagnosed like today, like in 3 months, you can get worse because you're not taking the right medicine. And lastly, is going to be not eating healthy. When we're sick, we have to have a good diet, so our body can have a lot of energy, can be strong. I know we're sick, but still we need to have a good diet. Let me go to the next slide. Some symptoms, motor symptoms that we're going to be sharing. I'm going to be sharing is going to be that slow movements, when dopamine is not, when our substantia nigra is not making a lot of dopamine, is when our brain is not going to be sending signals to your body to make this movements quick, where your body, where you can be standing up and then suddenly you forget what to do and you just fail. This can happen. This can happen, or sometimes you don't know how to stand up, you don't know how to move your hands. All this can happen too. And other things like they can be tremor, like your hands are going to be shaking a lot, where you're not going to be able to hold like a cup of water, where you're not going to be able to feed yourself, where your hands are going to get stiff and they're not going to be able to get movements. And some non-motor symptoms can be difficult swallowing. I mentioned this before. I know some people, when they have Parkinson, sometimes they get swallowing problems, where sometimes physicians describe them like a special diet, like puree, mechanical soft, and also thick liquids to drink. Because when they drink water, or when they eat like a normal food, they start choking, when they can choke themselves. And also other symptoms can be anxiety and depression. You get this depressed, where you sometimes you don't want to do nothing, you're just saying in your room all the time, and this is not good. And also they can lose their sense of smell, and also their sleep. They can also get sleep issues. Let me go to the next slide. Diagnosis. Well, this diagnosis can only like a physician can prescribe if you're sick or not. And this physician is going to be neurologist. They're where these doctors are trained, and they have studied the neurons of the body, and where they go to diagnose you of Parkinson's based on your medical history or your symptoms, or this is the only way where they prescribe you or by neuro neurological or physical exams. That's the only way that they can diagnose you. Some treatment is going to be only the thing that they're going to be giving you when you get sick with this disease, is going to be taking the medicine, the right medicine. And also there's no cure for this medicine yet, but I hope they can find a cure soon. And some medicine that are going to be the most important medicine that they're going to prescribe you is going to be the levodopa and also the carbidopa, where the carbidopa is going to be preventing or reduces some of the side effects of the levodopa therapy. This could be like nausea, vomiting, low blood pressure, and also is going to be needed for improvements of the symptoms. And let me go to the next slide. Here's also other medicine that is prescribed by your physician that can be dopamine, that is going to be stimulating the production of dopamine in the brain, and also some enzymes inhibitors that is going to be increasing the amount of dopamine by slowing down the enzymes that break down the dopamine in our brain. And also here's other medicine that's going to help to reduce the involuntary movements of their body. And here's other medicine that is going to be taking, where Parkinson's residents can take. And also not only that, but physicians can also prescribe physical therapy when they're going to be having hard time walking by themselves or doing simple things. And also one of the things that they can also lose is their voice. Over time, they can lose their voice. So sometimes they can also get like the pathologist that can help with the speech problems. Let me go to the next slide. prevention, there's there's the only thing that can prevent this, just try to have a healthy diet, or some researchers say the aerobic exercise is is something that can also reduce Parkinson's disease. But just remember to have a healthy diet, and like Parkinson's disease is not good, but let's hope they can find a cure soon, or who knows. Okay, let me go to the next. And also, one more thing is, researchers have shown that people who consume caffeine, which is that can be found in coffee, tea, and cola, get Parkinson's disease less often than those who don't drink these kind of drinks. So remember. We go to the next slide. In conclusion, we have learned a lot of Parkinson's disease, and we have learned that this disease doesn't have a cure, but we can still be having like a healthy diet. We have to visit a physician to get the right medicine. If you don't take the right medicines, that can make your Parkinson's disease to get worse. For example, if you get diagnosed today, tomorrow, and you don't take the right medicine for 3 months, your symptoms can get worse, and your symptoms can get worse like in 3 months, 1 year, 2 years. Sometimes there's people who have Parkinson's disease that lives like for 10 years, 6 months, 2 years, 4 years, who knows, but people can have just try to remember to take the right medicine. And also, like we also have learned about the chemical substances that decreases the amount of the chemical substance or the medicine that we have to take with the disease. And we also have learned about males, men are more accurate to get diseases when they're 16 years or older. And let me go to the next slide. In conclusion, and this is all the citations that I have used for this research. I use 1, 2, and I have 2 more. Okay, thank you so much. And this is all the information that I was trying to share with you guys. I hope you guys understood all the thing that was trying to say, and thank you so much. And bye bye.